Namaste, Vitruvians. Here we are again. It's Friday. We are back for another Vitruveo Spotlight. We had an exciting week, and I'm just pumped to tell you all about it. And here's Mike also. Mike, how's it going?
It's going good. Good morning, everybody. Good day, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you guys. We have a lot to go over today, and what a week. This was a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a lot of news and information to share, some new
Yep.
things that you are not aware of, and a review of what was there. So I think we should just dive right into it. So let me add, but first, let me just say hi to everyone. Let's see, we've got a lot of our community regulars. So nice to see you, Pam, Doc, our Aris. Let's see here. Who else is here? V-Lane is here. Jen is here. Phantom, hello. Um, Casey, No ID, Kryptonite, Arnav, Lifestyle, Mystique, hello, Arjun, Alfonso. Uh, yeah, it's great, Jason. It's great to see so many artists attending the spotlight. It's actually important because we have some great news for you today. So
Mhm.
I think you'll be very pleased. Um, okay, I think we can get going. So let me add our deck here to the stage. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Wait, is it looking squished
Yeah, it
for you?
does look squished. What's going on there?
What's going on there? That's a bit odd. So let's fix that. We don't want it squished. We want it to be nice and wide. Is it still looking squished? Yeah, let me
That's getting
re-add it.
better.
Let me re-add it 1 second. It shouldn't be squished like that. It's kind of weird. Never had that problem before. All right. Let's
Nice to see you, Phantom. Tasman, great to see you as well. Thanks for
still
joining.
looking squished. So
Aris,
let
great
me
to see you.
share screen. Let me try that again 1 second.
Yeah,
No,
take your time,
still
Nick. Garfield's in the house. Good to see you, man.
okay.
KC, great to see
Yeah,
you.
that's right. No more squished. All right.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, guys, let's get started. Welcome to the Vitruveo Spotlight. This is season 6, episode 6. I can't believe it's already 6 here. It's February the 7th, 2025. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO, and with me is Mike Purdy, a COO. And in the Spotlight, we review the events of the past week and tell you about what's interesting, new, fun, and exciting that's coming up in the upcoming week. So let's get started. I think our first topic is always the protocol update. We'll go through that right now. So we had a bit of an interesting week here. We had a denial of service attack on the chain by some ne'er-do-wells. No problem. We are working on gathering up all the evidence, which turns out there's significant amounts of, to turn over to law enforcement. We want to make sure that people are held accountable for their actions. Let's look at the impact analysis of this. Well, we had a slower, we recovered virtually instantly. We had a slower block time. We had some bridge transactions stuck, probably one or two, honestly. And shout out to Via Labs for their assistance in helping us with this. As a precaution, they had kept the bridge turned off and they turned it on as soon as they determined everything was fine. There was zero impact on the week's listing. It went flawlessly. And we are now working with the validator, with the validator community, especially the VTech team, to implement a two-phase batched migration in mitigation rather in February to ensure that we are as secure as possible. Thanks also especially to Nelio and Esso and Oracle and Nathan, who were up at all odd hours to help us out. I appreciate all of you very much, especially Nelio, who we had to wake up in the middle of the night. So, but he's a trooper and was great. Also, a shout out to Tena. So what is the impact of this on rebasing? Virtually nothing, because remember, our goal was to get the rebasing update out, which had a transaction trigger of 10,000. We are nowhere close to 10,000 right now. So we are going to use this time to make the blockchain way more secure and ensure that we have the right mitigations in place and also the right logging in place so we can gather even more data if this happens again. So we have a ton of data right now. Thanks to Nelio, we've got great logging systems, and we have lots of information. And now we'll get more also. So we're just going to use the next few weeks in February to get the network upgraded. So you'll hear about that as we do that. But all in all, I think we are looking very good and very pleased with the outcome of the Weex listing, which we'll be talking about quite a bit today. And we're also pleased that this gives us an opportunity to improve our network significantly and speed it up also. All right, so that's on the protocol. Next up, whoa. This was the best thing ever. We had the community rally and get together. So appreciate everyone. Appreciate Garfield, Mystique, and so many others. I might not be able to name all the names, but know that I appreciate all of you. We had a massive 20 million staking challenge, and it turned out to be a 20.5 million staking challenge, and the community rose to the occasion, and we met that challenge. And so now we are going to have 20.52 million SavoX tokens airdropped. So this is great. Thank you to everybody who rallied together. I really appreciate all of you. Mike, you want to jump in and say a couple of words about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. It was great to see the cohesiveness of the community coming together. It was great to see the progress that we have. As you're aware, that we're really trying to reduce the active supply in order to facilitate overall project growth, long-term commitment, um, getting people more engaged with the revenue sharing through Vibe. So there's just, it's just an incredible milestone. If you think about it, where we were, a couple of months ago compared to where we are today, this is unbelievable, guys. And this definitely was a pretty aggressive challenge for all of us, but I'm so thrilled with the results. And we've got some very exciting things planned, that we're going to be going over to today. That's going to talk a lot about our strategy in terms of our overall project growth, some of the solutions that we have, some of the problems that we've seen. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about this. All right, so let's talk about logistics here because I know that forever we are going to have the question when. Everything is when. So let's follow up with that and find out exactly what's going to happen. So first of all, let's look at how things are going to be. So we're going to look at all the stakes for Verse. We're going to total them up, and we are going to look at and compute each wallet's share of these 20.5 million SavoX tokens. And then they're going to be airdropped pro rata to each wallet. Now, remember that 5% is liquid and 95% is released over 2 years. So there is a release schedule. It's not you have to wait for that 95% for 2 years. There's a release schedule of increments, and you can see that release schedule on mint.sabongevolution.com. So we're going to have that same release schedule. Of course, we're going to double Verse units, and I'd like to confirm. People asked about, will that happen for Vitro also? And the answer is yes. You'll have to bear with us a little bit because we are just coming out of the excitement and all the work involved in the Weex listing. So we haven't had a chance to actually do the calculations, etc. on this, but this is a high priority to get these tokens and these Verse units into your hands. And so we're going to do this next week. So airdrop is the week of February 10th. I can't tell you the exact date because, as I said, we got to do all these calculations and figure out who gets what, etc., and really get things accurately done. So there are no issues. And so, yeah, we'll be taking care of them next week. And once again, a huge thank you to the Sabong Evolution team, and especially to Garfield, who kept it real and kept us all excited throughout this campaign. And of course, for doing this amazing community challenge. It started off as a challenge about tokens, but honestly, it brought an entire community together, focused on a goal, focused on a mission, like I've never seen. And so I'm very, very grateful to Garfield for initiating that. And yeah, I'm grateful to our community who rallied and got it together. All right. So next up, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're talking about Sabong Evolution. So let's kind of keep that topic going and talk a little bit about community projects. So one of the things that you should know is that the SavoX tokens that you are getting are part of the Sabong Evolution project. They are essentially the token for the project that is bridged over to Binance. So let's take a quick look at where and what is happening with Sabong Evolution. First of all, just a quick primer here. Savo is the Sabong Evolution dual linked token. I'm sure that people have heard of single link token, where you've got a token linked up to a price or some volume or something like that. But this is dual linked to both Vitruveo and Bitcoin. So the main news about it is that the pending airdrops that people who are minting SavoX all this time and participated in airdrops, etc. Those airdrops have been done. Now, where the Sabong Evolution project is headed is for a big event on February 14th. It's their pink sale. That's pinksale.com is the Binance website for launching tokens. So since the project and Garfield have supported Vitruveo relentlessly, as you just saw from the 20.5 million drop, and also getting, rallying the community together, we feel that we need to do everything we can as a community, and as a project team, we want to do everything we can to support their success. So I want to share a couple of insights here. And then I want to make sure that everybody in the community has the information about this project, because we want to make sure that it's a huge success. They've done their part for us, and we got to do our part for them. So the basic information about this token you can get at savo-x.com. So as I mentioned, it's sort of a dual linked token with both Bitcoin and Vitruveo. So let's understand that a little bit. So Savo is the token on Vitruveo. So that's the primary project token. SavoX is the bridged version of Savo on BSC. All right. So that's the one that's on the pink sale. Now you can take your SavoX and you can bridge it back to Vitruveo. And similarly, you can have your Savo token on Vitruveo and you can bridge it back over to BSC for trading, etc. Now, Savo is, as I mentioned, dual linked to two chains. Whenever Vitruveo rebases, the supply of Savo increases. All right. And every 24 hours, there is a Bitcoin price differential. Either the Bitcoin price goes up in 24 hours or it goes down. Well, it might stay the same also, but it's either going up or down mostly. So the Savo token is also linked to that. The supply increases or decreases based on this 24-hour price differential. Now, all the wallets that are minting right now on mint.sabongevolution.com, they have a feature called burn proof. What that means is when Bitcoin price differential goes up, you benefit from it. Your wallet benefits from it because the supply increases. Your wallet increases, just like Vitruveo rebasing, and it does with Vitruveo rebasing also, but it's also burn proof. What that means is if the price decreases, then there's no impact on your wallet. But for wallets that are not burn proof, and it's only possible to have a burn proof wallet for those minting right now, then you would actually see a decrease in your wallet supply. So that's what is happening there. Very proud and very, very excited to share news about this token and everything that's going on. Garfield, hopefully you can hop back on again on the spotlight soon so we can talk more about this because it's a fairly large and important project in the ecosystem. And once again, cannot thank you enough for everything you do. All right, so that's community project number one. And now I'm pleased to introduce to you our next community project, which is Vitruveo Exchange. There it is. So this is a new community exchange. It enables us to have quick listings for new tokens and ecosystems. So if you create a token on any platform, or even your own, you can quickly get it listed, because as you know, it takes a bit of effort to get it listed on a mainstream exchange. But on the Vitruveo exchange, you can do it very fast, and it enables trading on Vitruveo and other chains. And it has a great swap UI for quick sell. So if you are confused by trading, you're not into DeFi, etc., it's got a great UI for that. So it's at vitruveo.exchange, and we'll take a quick look at it here shortly. But I want to address head on some of the questions that people have about it, which are related to our brand. So let's address those. First and foremost, this is a third party, meaning not a protocol project. It's a community project. They asked for and got for advance permission from us to use the Vitruveo name. And we intend to formalize a system by which people can essentially license the name through an upcoming partner program. We don't have all of that done yet. Now, we certainly understand the risks to brand equity when doing something like this. But we are willing to take the risk for this partner, because A, it's a huge benefit to the community, and B, they are very trusted. So this, you can think of this as a one-time exception for a community partner who wants to work very closely with us. The benefits to the community with the naming, etc., are more than the downsides. So we are willing to take that risk because it's actually a very calculated and low risk. It is independent, so we collaborate, just like we collaborate with Sabong Evolution, but they are their own entity and managing it, and they have agreed to really work for the benefit of our community. So significant benefits to the community, including Vibe revenue sharing. So I welcome Vitruveo Exchange. Just keep in mind that they are independent, and we are here to support them in as much as possible. So right now, you could go to Vitruveo Exchange and try it out. I just went today and created an account, and you can see that it's got the standard stuff that you can go over. I'm not going to go over everything, but I want to show you a couple of highlights that I think are important. Obviously, there's markets. You can do trading in various markets, including Vitruveo, Binance, Ethereum, etc. So all of that is available. But what I really like is something that we'll talk about a little later, is this swap feature, which I think artists will mostly enjoy quite a bit, because it's very simple. You've got some Vitru, you want to sell it. Well, if there's someone who's put in a buy order, you can do it. So for example, if I have 100 Vitru to sell, this tells me that at 25 cents, which is the price I'm guessing on this market, I would get $25. So this presents a great option, and we're going to talk about it a little later. But we're going to continue right now and come back to Vitruveo Exchange in a little bit. So now, what we want to do is talk a little bit about the biggest event of this week for us. It ended months and months of the question that I have grown to love, which is when list, or when launch, really, even though we already launched a long time ago. And that is our centralized exchange listing. And so I'm very pleased to report that as of this week, we are live on the Weex exchange. And we had a great high of 65 cents. And since then, we are at around, somewhere around 30 and X. I'm going to say change because it changes. And Mike's going to talk a little bit about this now, and really focus our attention on what exactly is happening on this, the DEXs, etc. So Mike, over to you.
Okay. Yeah, what a week, guys. Obviously, this was a huge milestone for us because this really is our public offering of the Vitru token, and we are very pleased with the support that we've gotten with Weex. We obviously, there's a few things that we have to still get updated. We have to update the info section. It's not really the information that we requested. They took it off a different site, and so we have to get that updated. But in terms of excitement level, in terms of progress, in terms of a massive milestone, this was it. This is only the beginning. And when we take a look at kind of our journey over the past month and a half here, obviously before we instituted our, from January 1 through, the 21st, our token was, trading on the DEX for around 18 cents. Definitely volatility there. We, the number two chart here is pricing from when we announced the passport. January 22nd through the 29th, we started to see price recovery and price stability. So the passport was initiated, and then our chart 3 is really our pre-list chart. We had massive stability in the price, and very little, sell pressure at that time. And then our chart number 4 was a wild storm. We saw highs, we saw lows. It's definitely a crazy chart. And, so we're currently, I think this morning I checked, it was around 28 cents. This was both encouraging to some, discouraging for others. Many people thought that there was going to be a massive, price pump right out the gate. I personally didn't expect that, but, nonetheless, we saw price growth over about 55% growth over our DEX listing. So right now we're about 55% from our pre-list in terms of overall price, which is great. We did see in the chart, though, some really interesting things. And what we were really seeing were 3 different camps and 3 different types of holders. So let's move on to the next slide, Nick. So I had a chance to kind of look at what was going on with the chart, and the chart really reflects this. Is you have the community kind of fighting against each other. We have sellers, we have traders, and we have buyers or bulls. The sellers are people that are bearish on the project. They need immediate ROI. These might be creators that, creator vaults that hadn't staked, people that were frustrated with vaults and passports. Those are kind of our sellers. Our traders are people that want to active ROI. They really want to trade the token, make some money here, make some money there, and hope that the price pumps. They're looking for arbitrage, they're looking for price growth, but price growth is really kind of secondary. They're really interested in just trading, having fun, that sort of thing. They want the project to grow, but active ROI is their priority because they're traders. That's kind of what they want to do. The bulls, these are guys that are hodlers. They're big holders, big stakers, and they want the project to grow. That's really what they want to do. They're looking for maximum vibe income, maximum revenue sharing. They want the chain to be a top 10 chain. They want massive ROI in 5 years. These are long-term holders. They're looking for lifetime revenue. They're not selling, they're not trading. All they're doing is holding and accumulating. And most of them are not interested in really selling anything until we get above the $10 price range. So we have these 3 different buckets, within our community. And you can even, the price really reflects that. You'll see a massive pump and then a massive dump, and then a massive pump and a massive dump. And then what's happening is you have these sellers and these buyers that are just competing with each other in such a brand new listing. We saw a lot of volatility. So let's go next. So these are the challenges that we have. Sellers aren't bad, traders aren't bad, bulls aren't bad. They're just different types of holders. The sellers, the current challenges that we have is obviously sells on the central exchange are hurting our list price, our initial list price. Obviously, when we list, we want a bullish chart. In terms of us speaking as a core team, we really do want the project to grow, and we really want high support and resistance levels. We don't want to, come out of the gate, do a little pump, and then flat trading. That's not good for the project. It makes it very difficult to market that price. Typically, when a new coin is launching, you have kind of you need a number of things going for you. You need a massive marketing budget. You need a lot of buzz, and you need a positive price chart. Those are the kind of the three things that you really need. Um, the difficult thing is that we don't have the buzz yet. We need to create and manufacture that buzz. We don't have a deep pockets with marketing because this wasn't an ICO. We didn't raise USDC to list this coin. Um, so this is a community funded project. So we're really, growing organically. So the last thing that we really need in order to grow the project is a great chart and a very bullish chart. With a bullish chart, we have a lot of things that happen at that point. We can raise capital for marketing. We can increase the marketing. New investors will take a look at our chart whenever we do the marketing. If they're seeing 100, 200, 300% growth over the span of a week, we can inject a lot of money into marketing, do banner ads, we can do X ads, we can do all different types of advertising, marketing the chart. And then that really does attract FOMO. And then at that point, we have more capital, and it kind of continues. The problem is that our sellers and traders are really capping the price growth. So the sellers are kind of hurting the sex pricing. There, there's limits on future revenue for creators, because obviously, if we've purchased with VOSD artwork at say $500 and the price is going down, that means that the revenue that they, potentially could make on that artwork is going down, and they're kind of trapped, with the vault right now because we don't have the liquidity in order to, write the check for that artwork. This was really a customer acquisition play. We really wanted to encourage staking for creators, but some are just not interested in the crypto thing. Some are absolutely staking, and then some are just waiting to see what happens. But the sells do hurt the project growth. They do hurt our marketing effectiveness. The sellers are directly fighting against the bulls, the people that are trying to grow the project. And it just hurts also the projects on chain that are tied to the token. So that's where we are with the sellers. With the traders, I was kind of freaking out whenever we went to list, and I started seeing spot orders go in for 40 cents, and we had this massive pump right out the gate, and then people were basically capping that growth by putting in sell orders at 10 cents. So what happens is it just stunts the growth. And their methodology, as a trader, you're trying to ROI $5 at a time, and just trying to make as much money as you can. Traders are great for project growth in terms of volume, but not for price growth necessarily. Traders are great for established projects, but it's not the best for a brand new project, just because it really does cap and put the entire price into a box, right? You have much, much, much lower resistance levels, and it drives the support level down. So we've got to figure out a solution for that. We have to figure out a solution for the sellers. And traders are really limiting the vibe effectiveness, because obviously we want to attract more holders. We want to attract more capital. We want green candles on everything. But if people are putting in spot orders at 40 cents or 30 cents, what that does is that communicates to the rest of the world that people think that that's a good price to sell, is 40 cents. The bulls are screaming. They're going, "What are you doing? You're ruining our price growth." So what happened is you would see the chart. There would be this massive pump and then a dump, and then a massive pump and a dump, and all of these erratic little middle trades. And so what happened is the bulls just basically pulled back. They're saying, "I'm not going to be exit liquidity. I do want the project to grow, but the sellers and the traders are capping our growth." So we really started to see this kind of the buckets in our community kind of fighting against each other, but everybody has the common goal, which is to build revenue and make money. and obviously have fun and trade. But everybody has the same goal of we want long-term growth. We want the project to do well. We want marketing capital. We want new investors. We want VCs. So this really created an interesting challenge for Nick and I to kind of figure out how to best support the community, how to support sellers, how to support traders, and then how to support the bulls. And we have, obviously, we have our DEX, we have our central exchange now, but now we have the Vitruveo exchange. And so we're trying to get creative on what we can do here. So what we kind of want to, the way we want to organize the community is we want sellers to really sell OTC. We want to encourage you to sell on the Vitruveo exchange. That's not going to be a publicly listed. Most exchanges are layer zeros. They're not on blockchains. Our exchange is going to be a little bit different in that it's really going to be set up as a token listing platform, from tokens that are coming over from Liftoff Monster. You don't have to wait for CoinGecko. You don't have to wait. They're frustrated because they don't have charting. They don't have any type of really easy way of trading the token. There's no easy way to market the token. The Vitruveo exchange is really going to solve that problem, where all Liftoff Monster tokens that come over that are newly launched are going to be on the exchange instantly. We will have bios, we will have information on it, and they can actively trade and have charting and order books. The other thing that we can do is set up an OTC section where we can really allow people that want immediate return and immediate capital, whether that's a creator that's not interested in staking, they really just want to sell art and treat Vitruveo like a marketplace. Well, you can go through the Vitruveo exchange. You're not going to be restricted with passports. You're not going to be restricted with vaults. You can literally put up your Vitru, for purchase, and somebody can purchase it, and you can exit. The good thing. Let's go to the next slide, actually. So this is kind of how we're thinking of organizing things, at least for the next 30 days, so that we can meet the needs of all the different buckets in the community. Sellers aren't bad, buyers aren't better, traders aren't bad. Everybody's got their own unique goals, and we kind of want to provide solutions for each of these buckets. So at the top here, the top left, we have the traders. These are people that just want to trade, but they also don't want to hurt the price growth and the newly listed, Vitru tokens. So what we want to propose to the traders is do your trading on the Vitruveo exchange. You can actively trade the token without hurting the project growth. You're free to arbitrage. No passport is going to be needed. The bulls will drive up the OTC growth and increase the spreads on the OTC. So as the bulls, on Weex are really buying. So all of our buyers go to Weex. They will increase their holdings. They'll manage the growth. They'll pump the price. They'll do all of that. They're not interested in selling. We'll have the positive chart that we need. We'll then increase our marketing spend. We'll have something to sell, which will be awesome. And we can then bring in more holders and more capital and grow it organically. The sellers, they can list their tokens, actively sell, and they're not going to hurt the public price. It's really kind of an eBay model where you can set your price and exit, and you don't have to worry about vaults and passports and all of this thing. We really free the community up and give you guys the control over ownership of your tokens, which is awesome. And the best thing is we don't have to worry about messing up our supply. We don't have to worry about messing up our public offering. So these are kind of some solutions that we're thinking are going to satisfy the needs of each of the holders that we have. And so we're interested in your feedback on this. So obviously, if you want to trade, go to Vitruveo Exchange. If you want to sell, go to Vitruveo Exchange. If you want to buy, we encourage you to go to Weex. And by doing that, the bulls can increase the holders, can grow the holder base that we have. They can drive the project growth. Our marketing, as I said, is going to be more effective. Our long-term goals are going to be achieved. All holders will benefit from the activity from the bulls, and the bulls won't be frustrated with feeling like they're getting handicapped by making a nice purchase, maybe $1,000 or something, and then all of a sudden somebody just comes in and strips all of that price growth away. We can unleash the bulls, because we have millionaires in our community that they want the project to do well, but they can't get capped. And so we basically unleash the bulls on Weex, and then we trade, so the traders can make their spreads, on the price. As the Weex price, the central exchange grows, you're also going to see the OTC price grow. So there's going to be a lot of really interesting opportunities here. But we do want to encourage the people that are interested in either trading or selling, do that on the Vitruveo exchange. And then the people that really want to see the project grow and really are just interested in buying and increasing their holdings, they're perfect to go to the Weex exchange. So this is just kind of a way that we can organize things and meet all the needs of the community without putting unnecessary restrictions. We don't want to be overly centralized on some of these decisions. We really do want to loosen things up and facilitate free trading and all of these things. And we feel that these solutions will meet the needs of every single holder and not compete or stunt the growth of the overall project. As the holder base grows, as our community grows, as our holders grow, as our marketing is more effective, that's when we're going to get critical mass. That's when we're going to get projects that are going to be interested in building on chain. That's when we're going to see the volume skyrocket. That's when we're going to see the Vibe income increase. That's when we're going to see the rebases. So all of this is kind of a flywheel. And we feel that this would be the perfect start to our flywheel, is dividing these holders up and giving them a place where they can be active and accomplish their goals. So so that's kind of an overview of what we're thinking. What do you guys
Fantastic.
think? Yeah.
I think that was an excellent analysis. I almost want to call you Professor Mike now. So maybe that can be a nice, really well done, Mike. Thank you for explaining and laying this out to us.
Yeah.
It's critical to us to have a nice chart out there, because it really, as you said, will bring a lot more growth, will bring the right investors, right partners, the right projects to our community. And I just want to remind everyone, this is your project. We are a community project. We don't have institutional capital. So when you do things to hurt the price, you're hurting yourself at the end of the day, And this especially goes for artists. You might think that, oh, this is just me. It won't matter, like a quick thing. But the aggregate effect of many people doing that matters. And it makes things a bit challenging for us to manage. Believe me, Mike and I would rather be working on moving things forward, on projects, on growing value, etc., was just trying to manage this supply and trying to get people to stop selling at such low prices. So it's been very challenging, and I hope you can talk to each other about this and explain to your peers why it's hurtful to your own project, to you in the long term, to be doing that. All right, so we'll continue. We have lots more material to go over, but first, sip of chai. All right, let's go into some. Let's continue in this territory a little bit. I'm going to repeat a few things that Mike talked about in a little more detail, but I think what's most important is, first of all, I want to give everyone who may not be familiar with some of the intricacies of how things work, a complete bird's eye view of our. So here's a picture. Yes, it might seem a little complicated, but let me break it down for you, right? So on the left is the box, that's the Vitruveo blockchain. And within it, we've primarily got three types of cryptocurrencies. One is Vitrucoin, which is our native cryptocurrency. It's the only thing that can rebase. Nothing else rebases at a coin level. And the two tokens we have are a wrapped version of Vitru. It's wrapped because when you want to trade it on a DEX or a SEX, etc., it needs to be a token, because those applications don't know how to deal with rebasing. So that's the reason it has to be wrapped. And then of course there is USDC, which is a stable coin, and we have the Polygon variant of it. So it's USDC.pol. So let's follow through with the wrap Vitru workflow first if you want to trade on our DEX. So first and foremost, in order to wrap today, you need to go, you have two constraints. You either have what's called a trade balance, or you need a passport. So passport is coming, but so trade balance is active right now. What does trade balance mean? Trade balance means that if you unwrap Vitru, then you have a credit in your account. So let's say you unwrap 1,000 Vitru because you previously had it wrapped. Now you have the ability to wrap 1,000 Vitru again. It's that simple. It's a credit debit system, and that's what a trade balance is. So right now, if you want to trade on the DEX, you have to wrap your Vitru coin, but you may not be able to if you don't have a trade balance, and there are no passports issued yet. So you definitely don't have that. So unless you have already have wrap Vitru or you have a trade balance, you're unable to do that. But if you do have it, you will go to swap.vitruveo.xyz, which is our DEX, and you can trade it there with USDC, etc. And once you have USDC, what do you do with it? Well, you need to bridge it out to the Polygon chain, because as I said, that USDC is a Polygon token. So you essentially say, here's my wallet on Vitruveo with USDC.pol in it. I want to bridge it over to Polygon and make it into USDC. And from there, you can go any of a kajillion different routes. So that's essentially the route you would take for converting your Vitru coin to USDC using our DEX. Now, if you want to actually just trade your Vitru coin directly, that pathway is taking that Vitru coin, directly going to the bridge and converting it into a Vitru token. So coin to token via bridge on either Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum. So again, in order to actually convert your Vitru coin via the bridge to Vitru token, you either need a trade balance or you need passport. So a trade balance for Vitru coin in the bridge means that you have previously bridged Vitru token to Binance or Ethereum, and then you brought it back. And so you have that balance and you're free to trade out again. So once you bridge and you get to the other chain, whether it's Binance or it's Ethereum. So let's look at Binance first. So now your coin has become a token. Remember, tokens don't rebase, only the coin rebases. So once you've converted to wrapped Vitru or to Vitru token, there's no rebase. And on Binance, you can use Pancake Swap, which is a DEX, to swap Vitru token for any number of different cryptocurrencies. The sky's the limit there. On Ethereum, you have multiple choices. That same token, which again, no rebasing, can be traded on Uniswap, which is the decentralized exchange there, or starting a few days ago, it can be traded on Weex. So Weex uses the Ethereum Vitru token for trading. So as you can see clearly, the journey here requires that currently, in order to be able to trade on our DEX with wrap Vitru, or to trade on any of these Binance or Ethereum exchanges, whether it's decentralized or centralized, you need to have a trade balance or a passport. And as I said, passport is coming. So right now, trade balance is it. So that's the broad strokes overview. Hopefully this communicates everything you need to know about this. Now what happens is that each of these entities, whether it's PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Weex, or our DEX, they're all independent. They have no connection between each other than us humans, So what do people do? They use arbitrage. They look at the price on one and say, okay, it's low here, I'll buy here and I'll sell there, etc. So that's perfectly normal, and that'll happen. And just keep in mind that there is no connection at all, and there never will be between all these exchanges. So you can expect that there will always be a price difference, and that is how all exchanges work for all tokens. All right, moving on. Let's go to the next slide here. Okay, so now let's talk about Passport. So we introduced the concept of Passport a few weeks ago in order to manage our supply. It's essentially an NFT that, through criteria we've established, which is essentially measuring your, how much you've staked, how much you've contributed to the community, how much you've bought, etc. It effectively gives you the ability to move tokens either through the wrap system or through the bridge system. I won't go into detail about how Passport works. Please look at the last spotlight, and there's plenty of details there. But the main objective of Passport is to manage the supply until there's enough liquidity to support sales. I mean, right now, the problem we struggle with is that there isn't enough liquidity. So our development for Passport is on track, and we intend to issue the first passports next week. We have now finalized the price range. Before I gave you an approximate one, now it's finalized. We're gonna start implementing the passports in the price range once we get to $1, and moving it up all the way to $2.75. So right now, it's pretty pointless to have a passport because we are not nowhere close to that dollar range, and there are already approximately 425,000 Vitru tokens on Ethereum that are eligible to be trading on Weex. So we need to. There is an adequate supply for the current situation. So these passports, once they're issued, will add to the supply, which will effectively compound the problem, but not really, because we intend to issue the first passports to responsible members of our community. But again, keep in mind that our threshold passport is driven by price. The supply adjusts dynamically based upon the price, and so we are nowhere close to $1 yet. So don't expect to see any passports have any capabilities on supply until the price gets to that level. So even though there will be passports issued, they will effectively not be able to actually get any supply because the price is not there yet. Now, the supply range, what we are targeting is approximately 500K to 7 million. So the algorithm, which I shared last week, works to ease in the supply all the way to 7 million, which is approximately what is floating around in wallets right now, even after all the staking and all that. And remember, we have some vesting tokens also coming in, so the supply continually increases, but we also have more people staking. So the importance of staking continues. We want to continue to reduce that supply, which is at 6 and some change, 6 million and some change right now. But we put 7 million there to account for the fact that vested tokens continue to be added to the system. So Passport is a very efficient tool we have created for managing the supply. It's algorithmic. There is no human involvement there. It's essentially this price range and this supply, and we are going to manage it algorithmically. So that brings me to the point that Mike brought up, is about who should trade how. And so let's talk a little bit about that. And my next topic here is trading pathways. All right. So let's look at all the trading pathways that are available to at your disposal right now. So we've got our DEX on Vitruveo. You need, as I said, a passport. And implicit in passport is a trading balance. I didn't put it up there. You can wrap your Vitru and then you can trade it. On PancakeSwap, on BSC, you need a passport. You can bridge your Vitru and you can trade. On Uniswap, on Ethereum, you need a passport. You can bridge your Vitru, you can trade. And on Weex, on Ethereum, you need a passport. You can bridge Vitru and trade. Of course, you don't need any of these. You don't need a passport if you already happen to have wrapped or bridged Vitru available to. And that's what's currently trading, people who already have the wrapped or bridged versions. Now, these pathway limits exist because there's not enough liquidity. If there was enough liquidity, would we want this? Of course not. I mean, it makes no sense at all. So it's very important for people to understand that, who especially desire to sell, that you can't ignore the most fundamental requirement of trading. For you to sell, someone must be willing to buy. So people getting upset about passport, etc., don't realize that even if we give them passport, if we had no passport, we just open it up. It's a journey to nowhere. So let's look at what happens if we have no limits. People looking to sell at any price will deplete all the available liquidity. It'll be gone. The price goes into free fall in a race to zero. And guess what that means? No future for the entire ecosystem. It's all toast. So think for a second about your desire to sell if there's no liquidity. It is a meaningless desire because there's no one there, no capital there to buy it. And that's the situation we are trying to remedy. So what we are asking for you to is to help us get there and not deplete all the available liquidity as it becomes available. That's why we are trading flat before passport was introduced. The passport limits were introduced. As soon as someone introduced liquidity, it was gone in a heartbeat because someone was selling immediately, not caring about the future of the ecosystem. So think about the future of the entire ecosystem. If you want to be a part of it, if you want to have sustainable income as a creator, if you want to have long-term income as a crypto investor, it's not going to happen if you're just trying to sell right now. It just makes no sense. It defies all logic and is probably not the smartest thing you could be doing. All right, let's continue. So what is our thinking around this? Well, we get all the time that this is too centralized. So let's take on that argument, right? Fully decentralized means no controls and therefore no project. We leave everything out, maybe to a DAO or something like that, and say, okay, guys, make some decision. And just about everyone who has any experience with this, a modicum of experience with this, will tell you that when we put a large number of people and say, okay, there is no oversight, etc., guess what happens? Chaos happens and nothing gets done. Now, we want to avoid this, but we truly do recognize that some people sell at low prices because even a small amount of money is meaningful. Let's say you're an artist and you have no other form of income. All the other platforms are way down. There are no sales, etc. You want even your $5 or even your $10 is meaningful to you. We get that. We are totally on board with that. But we have to protect the entire future of the ecosystem. While your need for survival is important, so also is the need for survival of the entire ecosystem and the future of the project. So therefore, we are cognizant of this, right? We want you to be able to have your way, but we also want to protect our future. And so we are excited to offer you two trading pathways. The first we talked about, and the second is something new I'm going to introduce. So the important thing, and this is really important, these pathways don't impact our Vitru price charts. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create healthy price charts so it attracts more investors, more projects, and more partners to our ecosystem. But what we want is to give everyone, sellers and buyers, a choice. We ask you to make the right choice. Make the right conscious decision that is right for you, but also right for the ecosystem. Don't just think about me, think about we. All right. So let's look at our pathways here. So we talked extensively today about Vitruveo Exchange. We encourage that if you want to sell, you absolutely want to, and you're an artist, you want to get there, yeah, go to the exchange, and hopefully you'll find the liquidity. Hopefully you'll find buyers there. Because guess what? If you're not going to find buyers there, you're not going to find buyers on the other exchanges, etc. Also, so and also doing it on Vitruveo Exchange helps us, and it helps you also. So that's one thing. The second pathway I'd like to introduce today, I'm very excited, is called DAV, which is Decentralized Options Value Exchange. So here we now introduce a new way in which you can get some capital upfront by selling something called options. So many of you who may not be into DeFi might not be familiar with this concept, but let's explore it a bit more. So first, let's look at the two options very clearly. Community members without passport can trade or swap freely on Vitruveo Exchange. So if you don't have a passport and you have not staked and you don't have a good staking ratio, you have not bought any tokens, you have in effect just been in the community and want to exit, Vitruveo Exchange is the place for you. That's where you should be going and focusing it, because then you're potentially able to help yourself, but also you're not going to hurt the community. Okay. The next option, if you wish to benefit from the price volatility, and as you can see, the price is quite volatile right now, you can use Dove. So this is a new thing we are introducing for everybody to be able to benefit from the dynamic nature of the pricing here, and also the arbitrage that's going on. So let's explore this in a little more detail. So Dove is decentralized options value exchange. So why Dove? Well, options are interesting and can be very profitable, but if you go to any trading site right now that supports options, they make them very complicated. Your eyes glaze over. There are so many options. The UI is very complicated. There's numbers and numbers and numbers being thrown at you. So what we want to do is offer a simpler version of it. Very simple, very, very easy to use, with a user interface that is like literally something you can figure out in 90 seconds to 3 minutes. This is for non-traders. Dove is really for non-traders, because the traders can figure out. The traders can also use it, but it's primarily for non-traders. Our goal is to enable folks to use, benefit, and profit from options in 2 to 3 minutes. Now, here's why Dove is beneficial to the whole community. First of all, artists who are not familiar with DeFi can sell and use these options. They have a way beyond just trading and beyond just selling directly to participate in the DeFi economy and gradually ease into it. Now, those familiar with DeFi can, of course, be the buyers. You can be a seller also. And here's the best part of why it's beneficial to the community. All the listing fees that are there in this go straight to Vibe revenue sharing. All right. And that is great for the whole community. So let's dive a little bit more into options so everyone can understand it, because I know it's a new term for many, but for many people who are already into stocks and crypto for a while, understand it very well. So an option is the right, but not the obligation, to buy a token at a predetermined price. It's called the strike price within a set time frame. Okay. So that's it's a big sentence. Let's break it down with an example. All right. So let's say that you offer Olivia the option to buy 500 Vitru for $1 each within 30 days. All right. So 500 Vitru, $1, 30 days. $1 is the strike price. Now, what Olivia has to do is to pay you a fee. It's called the premium, and your 500 Vitru get locked. You immediately earn the premium. So the premium goes into your pocket immediately. How do you calculate the premium? Very easy. It's the strike price minus the current price, multiplied by how many tokens, multiplied by a special number called the seller multiplier. This is just a percentage of what profit margin the seller wants to make. So let's say that the strike price is $1 and the current price is 30 cents, right? And it's 500 tokens, and you as the seller say, okay, I want my seller multiplier is 10%. Why is that different? Well, you are competing with other people. Someone might offer it for 8%, someone might offer it for 15%. So it becomes a competitive marketplace, and different people can offer different options at the same price, but at a different premium. So if you do the math here, it becomes 70 cents multiplied by 500 multiplied by 1, and you get $35. So what is that? Well, you are now in a marketplace where you have locked 500 Vitru for 30 days, and you immediately got $35 in your pocket. Okay, this is the premium that the Olivia, who's the buyer, paid to you, the seller, for the option that within 30 days they can at any time come and get that Vitru for $1. So what is Olivia betting on? Olivia is betting on the price going above $1, because if it does, she makes a profit. All right. So let's look at what happens exactly in 30 days. Now, if the price of Vitru is above the strike price, say it's $1.20, right? Olivia now exercises her option. She pays you $500 because it's 500 Vitru multiplied by $1. she receives your 500 Vitru, which are transferred from your locked balance, and the transaction is complete. Now, if the price of Vitru is below the strike price within that 30 days, at the end of that 30 days, rather, it's say 90 cents. It doesn't make sense for Olivia to pay to get the token at $1 when she can get it at 90 cents on the public markets. So she does not exercise the option. The option expires, it's worthless. Your 500 Vitru are unlocked, they're back in your wallet, but you still get to keep that $35. So you're $35 richer, and your Vitru is back into your wallet. So that's how options work. This is not something new. This is something that has existed forever in the global stock market, and it also exists in cryptocurrency. What we are doing with Dove is making it super simple for anybody to use. So we don't want to cover all the details here today because it can get pretty long. What we're going to do is do a special flashlight on Wednesday for Dove to explain all the details, to answer all your questions, and show you the UI, how it will work, and things like that. So join us on Wednesday for this. It gives you another pathway. We are creating multiple pathways. Believe me, we are very sensitive to the fact that some people need that capital right away, and it doesn't really matter if it's $1 or $5, because I see people always saying, hey, why are you dumping for $10 or whatever? We understand the psychology of it. You want to get capital immediately to pay your bills or whatever, but you can't do that at the expense of our project. You can't do that and hurt our whole ecosystem. So we are creating options for you, and literally, no pun intended there. And we also have the Vitruveo exchange. So now you've got two pathways. It requires no trading balance, requires no passport. You can have your way around it. And of course, you currently have controls on your studio balances, and I'm going to address that in just one moment, because our very next topic here is Exhibit. So let's talk about those controls right now. So the team is currently in the process of modifying Studio. So as of Wednesday, but possibly as early as Tuesday, we'll have shipped a new UI where the claim button has no constraints around requirements of 5% only to your wallet, and the rest must be staked, etc. We'll keep the UI, encourage you to stake, because we want you to think about the whole ecosystem and not just your own wallet, but you will be free to withdraw your entire claim balance into your wallet if you wish. We are also hopeful that in the time frame that we have, we can implement one more change. When a sale occurs for your artwork, what we want to do is, currently we use the Vitru exchange rate at the time of sale, but we're going to change that a little bit, and we're going to use VUSD as the amount that gets deposited into your vault. And you can use the Vitru exchange rate at a time of your choosing to claim. When you claim, that's what happens at the wallet. So for example, if you got an artwork that sold for $100, 100 VUSD is deposited into your vault, and it sits there. When you want to claim, you claim it, and at the time of your claiming, whatever the current Vitru price is, that's the multiple you're going to get for your VUSD into your wallet. So again, we are targeting Wednesday, but we might be as early as Tuesday when the claim locks will be removed from Studio. We really still hope that people will continue to stake, because it is the right thing to do. It is beneficial to you. But if you don't want to, you can have it in your wallet, and you can trade on the Vitruveo exchange, or you can post options on Dove in order to get some capital into your pocket. So that's we implore that there's really no other pathway, because it's unlikely that we will have too many passports issued soon, because remember, the threshold is $1. We're not there yet. So it's unlikely you're going to get a passport anytime soon. So realistically, Vitruveo exchange and Dove are the main ways in which you can move forward. So very exciting. The other thing I want to report on is stores. So let me go into the UI here. Let's see here. So yeah, here is Studio, and I'm very pleased. Now this is on QA. I'm very pleased to report that the team has made great strides on stores, and we are ready to begin testing. So let me go through and show you what stores is going to look like in phase one. Phase one is intended to be for individuals, groups, collaborators, maybe a collective of photographers, etc. So it really anybody can use it. So here's how it works. So you go to stores in Studio and you select publish a new store. So then you have this UI with a multi-step process. Let's start with the organization. So I'm going to use the same organization I used in a prior demo. I called it Horizon. So I'm going to type Horizon, and your URL is going to be horizon.exhibit.live. I'm going to say this is Horizon Gallery. Oops. Horizon Gallery is a collective of physical artworks by artists from all over the world. All right. Oops. One type. All right. And then you have a price markup. So you can choose whatever price markup you want. I'm going to choose, you can choose 0 also. You can choose not to mark it up. I'm going to choose 5. And then you can see here, I've got a preview that is happening as I'm working on it. So let's go ahead and upload some images, etc. to this here. And let's see, that's the square logo. So I got that. I can crop it. I can fix it if I want to. I do that. Next, I want to add a banner, an image here for the banner is the last one here. And I'm going to choose that. And now I am done. And you can see that the preview now is looking pretty fine. It's got my gallery title, it's got my gallery description, and it's got my logo, etc. And my URL is going to be horizon.exhibit.live. So what's next? Let's go to next. It's going to upload the files. And let's see what happened here. There we go. Just a bit slow. All right, next you choose the filter of what you want in that gallery. So you can choose from any of the available capabilities that we have. You can select artists if you want. You can select that nationality. You can select, but I'm going to choose physical art. I'm just going to choose one simple filter. Oh, actually, let me make it 2. Has BTS, behind the scenes video or something like that. So we'll do that and we'll click next. But first, a sip of chai. All right. Next, let's go to appearance and content. It's optional. Let's go ahead and get into it. And I really love it. This is a feature that was just introduced today. And you can see that you can customize the whole thing. So you can say you want to hide recently sold, or you want to hide the filter, and the entire preview works exactly as you expect it to. You can even hide the details on the cards. Excuse me. You can hide the page navigation, etc. So it works really well. But here's the key part. You can choose the highlight color to match your brand. So in this case, I'm not exact there, but that's good enough. And boom, there you go. So now you can have a gallery that has fidelity to your brand and has all your custom choices. It's your artist, it's your artworks, it's your brand, your photo, etc. And then you're pretty much done, and you can review and publish. I don't believe that part is working in QA here. Oh, I guess it is. Okay, so here's a preview of it, and you can look at it and publish your store. And at this time, we do have a moderation system, and it will go into the queue and it'll be approved, and boom, it'll be ready. So this feature will be live next week. We're really excited about that. and are keen on having lots and lots of stores being created. Now, what we're going to do is also light up the store's link here that is on search. It's going to take you straight to a gallery of moderated stores. The ones that were approved are going to show up there, so you can discover new stores if you want. But we expect that people who create these stores are going to want to market them themselves. Remember, at the end of the day, our commitment to artists is that we're going to market your artworks for you. So stores is a one way to do that, because it allows anyone who has any kind of niche audience to set up a store with artworks and market to their audience and make some money. So anyone in the community here can go in there, create a store, and if you're an influencer, for example, you can market it to your community. Artists make some money, you make some money, and people out there in your audience, they get some cool artworks. So now that's currently with the single license we have, which is digital collectible. As you know, and I've been talking about in the spotlights, the print license is coming. So you'll be able to have a store that offers an infinite supply of artwork and the ability for people to get different prints for it, and you make money. So this is a great way to create a win-win scenario where for the artists and for yourself. And I'm really excited about Exhibit. All right, so where are we? I think we are about done. Oh wait, there is more. So let's look at our next topic, which I believe is still one of the most fascinating and exciting things we have. And I want to bring it up here and talk about it again here, which is Vibe, a Vitruveo income building engine. So just to remind everyone, Vibe is about long-term revenue sharing on Vitruveo. It is a very powerful tool. There is no other protocol that offers revenue sharing, no other L1 protocol that offers revenue sharing to its community. As more projects join our ecosystem, earlier today we talked about a partner program. And what we want to do is we want to focus attention on these projects that contribute back to Vibe. Just this week now, you have 2 new projects that are contributing to Vibe RevShare. You've got the Vitruveo Exchange, and you've got Dove that's coming up, that are both going to contribute. We are also working hard behind the scenes. We didn't mention Flix Fund today, but believe me, it's been a big focus of our attention, because we are working on getting all the materials ready to talk to investors and get ready for what is ultimately going to be our pink sale. So we are ramping up Flix Fund, which will contribute 10% of profits for Vibe RevShare. So Vibe continues to be one of the most vibrant and exciting things to be holding on to. And I hope you had a chance to get in on Vibe earlier, but if not, we have one final opportunity. So as you know, a couple of weeks ago, we retired the Veo bundle program, and we've done the math now, and we have a balance in the Veo program of 64,116 Vibe. That's all that's left over out of the million. And of this, we want to reserve 14,116 for marketing airdrops. So the remaining 50,000 we want to offer to the community starting tomorrow. So we would appreciate if you want to take advantage of Vibe, get a last effort to get in there, then please help us out. This will really help the project, because it'll help us have operating capital, which will primarily be for marketing for the sex listing. So there will be essentially 3 price levels. If you buy one Vibe or below 100 Vibe, it's $6 each. I got my math wrong there. I apologize. It should be $6 in the first there. And if it's 100 and more, it's $5.50. And if it's 500 or more, it's at $5. So we will have this up tomorrow, and 50,000 Vibe, that's it. After that, it's gone. Not available anymore, because we've exhausted the full million quota. This is all we had reserved this for investors. We used a bunch of it, and whatever's left is now available to you. So folks, that is it. Thanks for this spotlight. Looks like we got a typo there also. I got to fix that. It was season 6, episode 6. I'll change that right now. But Mike, let's take some questions.
Yeah, let's do it. Um, okay. Someone asks, will the restriction on the bridge also be removed?
I
Not
don't
at
know
this
how to
time.
answer that question because
Mm,
we already answered that question many times in the
yeah,
course of this
yeah,
session. So
yeah. Maybe it was cleared up, but no, not at this time. But we're doing different pathways to accomplish your goal. The chart looks good, but what is stopping sellers from selling on Weex and then bulls pump the price? So a couple things. Um, Obviously, we have the passport system. So the bulls, the people that are interested in purchasing will have trusted bulls, will have access to Weex, and will help us grow the chain as we mature. All of this is temporary. So this is just really in kind of a blitz in order to get marketing capital, in order to build our holder base, in order to increase our marketing. This is all just temporary. But we will use moderation with the passports in order to drive traffic 2 weeks to pump the price and increase activity and increase our holder count, all of that to grow so that everybody can benefit. Meanwhile, those that are before the bridge, you guys can really trade on Vitruveo exchange. You can do OTC. You can do dub options. There's a lot of activity that we can do. We want to kind of remove the restrictions, but still accomplish everyone's goal, as well as the blockchain's goal, because we all have our own goals. So this solution that we're doing really accomplishes all of that. Okay, another OTC opportunity. I've seen this movie before. What about partnerships and fresh capital? How are we solving the $12 million funding problem? Okay, so let me dive into this. Let's talk about projects. Mature projects, to get a project to come over to Vitruveo, they're going to want a large community in order to make it worth their while, in order to bring the project here. They want volume. They want their project to do well. So they need a big community and a lot of trading volume. So it's very difficult at this stage, right out the gate, in order to just open the floodgates and bring all these projects in, because it's not attractive to them. Newer projects that want to build, they're easier to bring on, but the problem is that they want grants, they want funding, they want to be incentivized to build on our chain, and they're still going to ask, where are you guys in terms of volume? Where are you guys in terms of being in the top 20 or the top 50? Because they want their project to do well. So it's kind of a juggling act to try to manage grants, because grants, you need funding. So we don't have a lot of funding for grants right now. We're going to get there. But these are all steps that we're taking in order to get there. So what we need to do in order to get to that point where projects are going to be attracted to the chain, we really need to grow the community. We need to start a buzz. We need to get trading volume up, increase our holder base, get green candles, all of those things. That's really the first step. Then we can expand and do hackathons. We can do press releases. We can then establish a grant program so that we can do funding for newer projects. That's why you're seeing a lot of community projects right now, is because the community has a vested interest in the project doing well. So they're trying to incentivize and be incentivized in order to build on chain. So we're really supporting them and helping them with development. We can't help them necessarily with grants, but we are helping them with development, advice, and that sort of thing, and exposure. So that's definitely helping a lot. So that's deals with your project question. In terms of the raising capital, we've talked a lot about this over the course of 2 years on how to really attract VC capital, how to attract seed capital, and and just understand the process of raising capital for a project. The first step is obviously being self-funded. That's seed capital, that's friends and family, that's angel investors, that sort of thing. Then you have, things like initial coin offerings, token generating events, that sort of thing, doing a public sale. That helps raise capital. We've already kind of done those. We've built, the blockchain. We've, done our from, obviously this community came from a different project. So we brought all of that over to form Vitruveo. And so now the challenge is further development and marketing and all of these different steps that we've taken over the past 24 months. The central exchange is really the one of the biggest milestones that we've had, because now that's really our public offering of our native token. The goal now is, how do we scale? And scaling really does come from building the community, increasing the attractiveness of our project, by showing a beautiful chart. That's really going to grow things. Institutional investors like VCs, typically you'll do a Series A capital raise. Most VCs want to see your growth. They want to see your minimum valuable products. They want to see a flywheel that's in effect, where your community is scaling, it's growing. They want to see social proof. So they want to see that your socials are, 200,000, that sort of thing, before you get these massive capital raises. Or they want to see a massive ICO, that just right out the gate, you guys pumped massively. That's what Series A funding, what they want. Series B and C funding is typically for scaling. So after you've done your Series A, you've done your seed, you've done your angel investors, you've done your Series A. Now you're doing B and C, and those are typically for scaling. That's when you're doing $100 million VC deals and that sort of thing in order to expand. So, where we are right now is we're still kind of in the seed funding, phase right now. We are interested in doing a angel investor for Flix Fund. We're really, really bullish on that. And so Nick and I are building out the pitch deck. And then we're specifically going to be doing angel investors, and then doing a seed, probably an ICO for that one. And that will spill over into the Vitruveo ecosystem. So that's kind of where we are for raising capital. In terms of solutions, how we've addressed all of these different challenges that we've had, OTC really does move sellers on Weex over to Vitruveo Exchange. It moves traders over there without impacting project growth, which is awesome. With the bulls buying, we have positive and massive growth. The OTC will benefit from the central exchange price growth. So there was a question of saying, well, why don't people just sell on the central exchange? Well, we do have a supply that's on Weex right now. We're going to kind of keep that supply the way it is. And, as it's actively traded, we're going to temporarily restrict the bridge until we see the price growth that we really need and the project growth. From there, the way we see it, and is as the growth happens on the central exchange, it will naturally affect the over-the-counter, the OTC price as well. Because if people see $1 on Weex, they're not going to sell it for 20 cents on over-the-counter. They're probably going to raise it up as well. There might be somebody that just wants to exit fast, and so they want to put out a really, really competitive bid, just to get rid of their holdings, or maybe it's a creator that has 10,000 Vitru and they just want to offer it for a massive discount, because they want speed. They want to move the Vitru really fast, but they also don't want to hurt the project. So that's where the OTC or Vitruveo Exchange really is an amazing solution for that. So that way, what do we have? The net result is we have sells and trading on Vitruveo Exchange that are isolated from our public list. We have our bulls that are pushing the public list and the project growth, and everything is working in partnership. And then once we get to a point where we have sufficient liquidity, we have a really good resistance and support price on Weex, we remove all restrictions and everything just goes open. And then eventually, it's quite possible that Vitruveo Exchange then becomes a native tier 0 exchange, where it's independent, and it's not on chain. We'll have to kind of see what the developers want to do and the project leads want to do on that. They're not doxed at this point, so we're kind of running point on that. But I know this is a big explanation to a very simple question, but you have to have context we've thought through all of this, and there's a very specific way that we have to kind of lay this out, given the challenges that we've had. And we feel that the solutions that we're offering really accomplish every single challenge. So we're actually excited to, release all of that. Nick, is there anything you wanted to add to that, or?
It was kind of a long answer, so let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Do the Vitruveo exchange contribute to Vibe? Not
Yes.
The dev part, but the exchange. Yes, it does. Yes. And I think it's 10%, but I could stand be corrected, but I know it's at least 10%. Does this exchange will list meme tokens and other projects? Yes. So anything from all the projects that have hit their bonding curve and delta curve from Liftoff Monster will be able to instantly be listed on Vitruveo Exchange, have charting, have order books, and really it's just an amazing support for that. Again, it solves so many problems that we have right now, which is great. Are there any fees when buying and selling? Yes, they are. There are. Those are still to be determined, but they're going to be very, very reasonable. It's not going to be like a. Did you talk with the devs last night about this?
So these are all questions that are best asked, targeted to Vitruveo Exchange, because again, I must inform you that this is a community project. We don't have the answers. We don't manage it. We don't know anything about it beyond being a partner and helping it out as a community project. So I would look to direct all the questions to Vitruveo Exchange.
Yeah. And that's kind of unfolding. So we'll I've had conversations with the devs and on some of these issues, but we're still going to, this partnership program is kind of a new thing. So we're trying to work out, how support of the exchange, whether that's going to be through our mods or whether they're going to have their own Discord and their own dedicated mods. We still have to work all that stuff out. To Nick's point. Do we have dark mode? So he's referring to stores, Nick, I believe.
Yeah, it works normally. Just as
just got to switch it.
Yeah. Is it not in dark mode? Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Where did that option? Oh, I think I hit. This is the preview. It's there. And if it's because it's just vanilla, the same thing we have as search. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And will credit card be enabled to purchase from the stores?
Yeah. So beyond the things we talked about on exhibit today, I'm not prepared to discuss additional topics, because what happens is we go off the rails on all these features that we've talked about over time. So let's focus on the two things that we talked about today. And these questions have already A, been answered, and B, will be answered in the time. Like generally our we say, here's a feature that's coming in the next couple of weeks. And so if we haven't talked about it today, you can be assured that it's not coming in the next couple of weeks.
Nick, do you want to handle this one? I'm just going to try to star some more.
The Vitruveo brought on Vitruveo Exchange, will it be able to sell on DEX or Weex if have passport? So Vitruveo that you have in your wallet, doesn't matter where it came from. Once you have a passport, provided the supply exists, you will be able to move it through the bridge or through the wrapper. So it doesn't matter where you get the Vitruveo from. So the answer is yes.
Okay.
Our intent with the Vibe is to get a modest amount of operating capital. It's not to create a huge raise. I don't think it would be prudent for us to sell at that high of a price. We want to make it affordable for our community members who did not get it right away, and we think that $6 is a fair price for it.
No. Robert, we addressed this in the last spotlight and we might have done
I
a
can address it
Discord
again.
post on it. Yeah, but if you want to handle
Yeah,
that.
it keeps coming up, and I kind of explained it again and again. So Verse is an inflationary token. That's the most important thing. That's the key point to remember. Verse is an inflationary token. So what we've done is projected out some of the tokenomics, and remember, as each movie project comes in and brings in their profit, Verse supply is growing. It's going to be essentially infinite, right? But when you claim, you burn some Verse, and as a result, it's also deflationary. So the question of where the bonus Verse is coming from is simply one of math. We add it to the numerical table without greatly upsetting the profit margin that is there. And right now we are well within the threshold of hardly making a dent in the profit margin with the number of tokens that are involved, which is why we've been able to boldly commit to doubling the Verse. It's not going to affect much. It's just moving numbers around right now on a tokenomics table. But if you look long term, the impact is negligible, because think about it: hundreds of movie projects coming in, each of them getting a Verse. This amount is negligible compared to that.
Yeah. Let's see. I think, where did I leave off? Okay. Okay. Nick, do you want to address
Already
that
answered
one?
that just now.
Yep. Okay.
Uh,
Bear with me. Okay, we already
let's
did that.
let's take this one.
Yeah.
It said you guys said no more vibes before. Yes, we did, and we are sticking true to that. This is the leftover inventory from the investors from Veo. So should we just what do we do with it? We use it. So there is no more vibe available through staking, etc. Those were all the community programs before. The only vibe now is what's left over, and so we are giving the community an opportunity to get that last bit. That's all. So I think both statements are congruent. We said no more vibes, and we are offering vibes because no more vibes was around staking, and these vibes are around from the investor reserve.
Yeah. So, AJ, there is no way of preventing people from selling on Weex. The only thing that we can do is communicate, appeal to the community different solutions, and so that they can accomplish their goal without hurting the project. And that really is an appeal, that you can make money, you can sell your tokens, as many as you want, in this section, and then really leave Weex for uh, people that are interested in purchasing and growing the project. We feel that this is an awesome community, and we feel that that it is a community project, we feel that people don't want to intentionally want to hurt. I'm really hoping that the cells will be mitigated by these solutions that we're offering. We hope to put everything together by next week. So I'm confident that this is definitely going to help, and as we grow and as we mature, we'll be able to loosen up everything and not have any restrictions, and then we can just focus on scaling, which is going to be the primary goal.
Yeah, I would like to add to that, if I may.
Mhm.
So in the software development industry, there's a term. It's called foot gunning. It basically means shoot yourself in the foot. So the answer, AJ, about not getting people to sell for cheap is maybe everyone goes and talks to 3 or 4 or 5 of their best friends and tell them, please don't foot gun this project. Stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Stop selling it for so low. So get all your friends to withdraw those, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Chinese holidays are over. Does that mean we'll have a new listing soon?
We just did a listing, Tanya. We spent the whole hour talking about a listing. So
Yeah, it's but I understand her question. Obviously, the more exchanges, the better, in some cases. But the problem is that if we don't fix the core problems, we're going to have the same issues and duplicate the same issues on the other exchanges. Plus, we're going to have limited capital because every single exchange is 20 to 40 grand. out of our seed capital, which is we're running low. So we really need to make sure that we have enough money for marketing. And it's kind of a chicken and an egg thing. What do you do first? Do you market first, or do you fix the problems first? For us, we want to fix and address the challenges that we have, sort out the communities, address their concerns, and help them with their goals, grow the chain, create marketing revenue, push the marketing, increase the holders. We'll have more capital. We can then do some small treasury sales or something like that in order to, pay for listing fees, and then we can scale. So that's kind of everything that we have planned. And Vitruveo exchange will count as an exchange. It's just going to be a different type of an exchange. But we're already on board and set up to go with our next exchange after Weex. So we do have another exchange that we're looking for. We're just waiting for capital is the primary thing. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I got, Nick, or do you see any others?
I see more questions saying raise the price of Vibe, but first of all, it's a matter of principle, and it's also a practical matter. The higher the price, the lower your sales. It's just that simple, right? So we like I said, we are not. We just need operating capital right now. It would be nice to get a salary for Mike and I, and those are. This is going to help us with operating capital. If you make the price too high, then it will reduce our ability to sell. So we wanted to be fair and create a system where we have this sitting here as an asset. It's a valuable asset, and maybe we can use it while we work on getting more capital with Flix Fund, etc. It will help us out greatly.
Yeah. So the question on Pink Sale is for Flix Fund. Yeah. So we're there is
what
a plan.
Will be the process to buy Vibe tomorrow? Is literally you'll be able to go to vibe.vitruveo.xyz. On the slider, choose how many you want to buy and click buy with USDC. That's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it, guys.
Yeah, this has been a long and exciting week. There's also many more exciting things coming. I appreciate the community as always, and really want to once again celebrate that we made our challenge. I loved how the community pulled together on that, and I'm very keen to introduce new goals for our community to work toward. So I think we'll noodle that a little bit and come up with some other things. But meanwhile, lots of new things coming here. It's going to be an exciting week. If you can, and I was very serious, talk to your friends and help us on Weex. Help us get some green candles there. All right, we really need them, and it will help the project. It'll help our growth, and it'll help you. So with that, let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on that flashlight next Wednesday when we talk about Dove.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in Discord. Take care.